Ooh, hey there, demons. It's me, your boy. It's been a long, long time. I hope you're all doing well. It's been like almost a month. We're here checking out Alan Wake Remastered. Yeah, I hope y'all are doing well. Things have been busy for me. I will admit a lot of it is Final Fantasy 14. There are serious things going on, but like it's not all serious stuff. Yes, I want those subtitles. You know what? I've got something controlling the, Wait, hold up. No, audio. Alright, they're not doing anything with the speaker. I think the speaker thing's cool on games that I'm not streaming. Kay, thank you for the sub. No, we were just chatting. Appreciate it. I keep telling myself I'm gonna start streaming more. So you can see in the chat there, I put, "Are you awake? Would you like to see the awesome sights at Bright Falls with me?" Both those are references to Alan Wake and Control, which share a universe. So if you've ever played Control, this will be kind of familiar to you.
Stephen King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear. In a horror story, the victim keeps asking,
"Hi, it's good to see
you." There can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest, and it's what we'll remember in the end. My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer. I've always had a vivid imagination, but this dream unsettled me. It was wild and dark and weird, even by my standards. So yes, it began with a dream. Following a typical nightmare pattern, I was late, desperately trying to reach my destination, a lighthouse. For some urgent reason, I couldn't remember. I'd been driving too fast down a coastal road to get there.
I hope y'all are doing well.
I'd seen the hitchhiker too late. He was dead. I was convinced they'd put me in jail and I would never see Alice again. Suddenly, his body was gone. I was in shock from the crash. I could hardly stand my feet.
So something to keep in mind with this game. One, it's very story-based. Even though it is like kind of a horror game. Another thing, this is a remaster. So this is a 2010 game with a 2021 coat of paint. This was originally released in May 2021 for the 360. It was eventually ported to PC
I had
with
to go
help
to the
from
lighthouse.
Microsoft.
I knew there was something important waiting for me there.
I did play this when it originally came out, but I'll be honest, I don't remember a lot of the story. So it's going to be kind of a fresh playthrough for me.
Find another way to the lighthouse.
The coffee thermos is a Twin Peaks reference. This game heavily draws inspiration from Stephen King novels as well as Twin Peaks, but also has that Remedy twist for their world building. that they're generally so good at. Oh.
You don't even recognize me, do you, Ryder? You think you're God? You think you could just make up stuff?
No, they probably want me to run.
Kill them when you think it adds to the drama? You're in this story now, and I'll make you suffer. Single readable sentence in your books, Phyllis.
What is this QR code? Hold up. The fuck? It goes to YouTube. So this is wild. Let me go to Twitch really quick. Because I want to share this with you all. I'm live. Take me to my stream manager. I just want to get in my chat. So I want to share this with that. Hush. Cool. So that's the link that goes to. If you're curious, I'll have to watch it later. So they definitely didn't do the QR code thing. That's new.
You missed your deadline. Damn. You can't stop me.
I did.
I realized that the hitchhiker was a character from
Having a
the story
dodge is nice. It's really you just have to tap L1.
How does it feel to die by the hands of your own? Please.
Generally, this game's all about following the light. Light darkness are a big part of it, from what I remember. The thing is, Alan is not like an action hero by any means. He's a writer. Doesn't really get a lot of exercise. Pretty similar to your boy. That's gotta change. I mean, I will, but I'm looking.
Inside now.
I mean, maybe, but I want to look for stuff. I'm looking for stuff. Why are you pointing a gun at a hurricane?
Go. Get inside the cabin.
Alright, I'll go.
Oh no.
Hi. Thanks for hanging out.
Stop. No. Damn it, die. No.
I was trapped. There was no way out.
This game starts off really intense. I kind of forgot about that.
The cabin was a death trap. I had to get out. Follow the light. You are hurt. You should go into the light. You are only safe there.
The light restores your health. That's nice.
Well done. I have something important to tell you. It goes like this. For he did not know that beyond the lake he called home lies a deeper, darker ocean green, where waves are both wilder and more serene. To its ports I've been. To its ports I've been. Do you understand?
No.
Follow my light.
No.
There's no time. I can only show you the most important thing. The hitchhiker has been taken over by the dark presence. You can't hurt him now. The darkness protects him from all harm. Only light can drive the darkness away and make him vulnerable again. Here, take the light.
Thanks, God.
Turn your flashlight toward him and burn the darkness away. You did it. Now the darkness no longer protects him, but it's still inside, controlling him. He can't be saved. He's still a threat. He is still your enemy. Here, take the gun.
Boy, this really is like a conservative wonderland.
Good. You've done well. Remember what I've taught you. That is all. I will give you back your dream now.
Pretty sure that was the voice of Max
In the
Payne.
nightmare, a terrible darkness was taking over the world.
Pretty
the lighthouse
sure.
was the last safe place on Earth.
So yeah, the flashlight kind of serves as your crosshairs.
This is it.
Suck it, losers. I see no reason to like waste ammo on these guys.
I can keep this up forever.
Yo, that dude is pissed. Alan, I need you to get some pep in your step, bud. I'm coming. Classic Alan. You just went different when you were awake. Well, the stream title, the period in Awake is intentional because that's his name, Alan Wake. So if he was to just do his first initial, AWE stands for Altered World Event. Oh, I should say, just for transparency's sake, I'm playing this on a PS5. I know you can see the PlayStation controls, but
He's here. Alan, what Shh, baby. Just another nightmare. Everything's fine. You dozed off.
Right. Anything more than dozed off would be news for everyone.
Cheer up, handsome. We're here.
Yeah, this town was based in part off of Twin Peaks, but also a bunch of research they did around the Washington state area. It takes place in fictional town Bright Falls, Washington.
Let's act like we're on vacation. Go stand next to that old gentleman there. I want a shot of you with the town in the background.
Sure. I'll even give you a title for the shot. A city boy, moments before he got eaten by a bear.
What bear is gonna eat you out here?
Hello there. You picked a good time to visit our town. Deerfest is just 2 weeks away.
Deerfest, huh? Did you hear that, honey?
You have a lovely wife. If you don't mind me saying. I'm Pat Maine, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm Alan Wake.
I won't pretend I don't recognize a famous writer such as yourself, Mr. Wake. A pleasure. I'm an avid reader myself. I hope this isn't too presumptuous of me, but I'm the night host at the local radio station. Any chance I could get an interview?
You're fast.
Mr. Maine, I'm on vacation. In fact, I'd appreciate it if we could keep my being here just between the two of us. I'm sure you understand.
Fair enough. You can trust me to do this. Not a hard man to track down if you change your mind, though. I hope you two have a lovely...
The camera's a little jank. Like it's wanting to run off at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like when I'm running around, it's fine, but when I'm standing still, it's like well, shift, shift, shift.
That's cute.
Right. Yeah?
Hey, bestseller, how's my favorite writer? Are you there yet?
Barry. Yeah. We just got here.
Are the locals giving you trouble? Just say the word and I'll hop on a plane and come make sure that you're left alone, Al.
No, Barry, we're fine.
Great, great. Just want to make sure you can relax and recharge. So, how is the place? Has it gotten your creative juices flowing?
Barry, we're just settling in.
Okay, Al. I'll call back later to make sure you're doing okay. And you call me
Al.
if there's a problem, okay? Okay. Just looking out for you, buddy. Talk to you later.
I love you too, Barry.
You know he's going to be calling you every 5 minutes.
Barry is Barry. I can always turn off the phone.
What did I tell you?
Text message from Barry. He says hi to you too.
Alan, we're here. Come on, let's get back to the car.
Is it not the car he was driving at the beginning? Oh. I wonder if this will like get all the way up before I do the prompt.
You get the full service here. I've made all the arrangements.
No.
I drive the car. I'll even carry the bags. All you have to do is drag your cute butt into the car and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, sounds like you've got a lazy bastard for a husband.
Yeah, but I got a thing for him. Come on, you lazy bastard. Let's go.
Mood.
We need to stop at the local diner to get the cabin key from the landlord, a Mr. Carl Stuckey. He's waiting for us.
So this game is laid out kind of like a
Fill her up
TV
when you
show.
get the key. I'll pick you up here in, say, 15 minutes.
Sure.
Like there's episodes. I think it's like 6 episodes and some
Alan,
DLC episodes.
Thank you for coming here with me.
I love you too. Go on. I'll promise to behave. I'd forgotten there were still places like this. Towns where everybody knew everybody.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner.
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me. I'm looking for...
Mr. Wake. Alan Wake. Oh, God! God, I am your biggest fan. I know people say that all the time, but I really am.
I'm glad to hear that.
Rose.
Rose, I'm looking for Mr. Stuckey. Carl Stuckey?
Carl? Of course, Mr. Wake. He must have gone to visit the restroom. He'll be back in a moment.
I can't believe it. I've got all of your books. I got the cutout from the bookstore when they took it out of the window.
And you keep it here. Well, okay. Good for you. Right.
Like
So
that.
much
This
for quiet vacation.
that cutout.
Just don't blame me when you fall in love, because it'll break your heart.
Hi, Mose.
Do me a favor, Sonny. I could really use a tune right now. Coconut, number 6 in the jukebox. I'd do it myself, but both of my legs have gone to sleep. Bad circulation.
Shit, mood.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Coconut again? You disgust me. Call yourself a rocker. Unbelievable.
I'm here for this dialogue.
You put the lime in the coconut, drink them both up.
Just because we're brothers,
It
don't think
does
I
that.
won't
Get
murder
stuck.
you in
Yeah,
your sleep.
you need to give it a good solid whack. Yes, that's my favorite tune. Coconut. Now that's what I'm talking about.
Coconut.
This is it. I've died and gone to hell.
And it really is playing it too. In the coconut. All the lime in the coconut. Oh, this is their version of the log lady.
You can hurt yourself in the dark.
I think I can handle it, ma'am.
I didn't want to wait.
don't wanna
I
die,
wanted to
do
find
you?
Stuckey,
Worse.
to get the key and get out as soon as possible. The waitress was giving me a
Listen.
headache. Overeager fans always did.
The lime in the coconut. Get it all.
Hello? Mr. Stuckey?
Carl couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he was taken ill. But I have the key for you and instructions on how to get to the lake.
Okay.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. And to meet your wife. I insist.
Thanks.
Bro. I hated how she handed that to me.
Cauldron Lake is a special place. Very inspiring.
Cauldron Lake. So originally this was developed to be an open world game, which is kind of why Alan controls funky like this. But during the development they were like, yeah,
You can hurt yourself in the dark.
this isn't really working with the narrative, so they cut it down into episodes, but they still kept a lot of the open world areas and just made them like isolated levels.
Even that sounds better than your singing.
Are you alright?
Splendid, splendid. Damn hernia. It swells up like a balloon if I lift anything heavier than a spoon. Yeah, splendid, splendid. It's been a long time, Tom. Good to see you.
Hey, you wouldn't happen to have a bottle on you, would you, Tom?
I wish.
The Andersons, they're, local musicians. We're waiting for Dr. Hartman to come pick them up. They wandered off from his clinic at the
I
Cauldron
know.
Lake Lodge.
Yeah, tell me all about it.
I'll be heading back to work as soon as Dr. Hartman gets here, Rose. Oh, but I'm not looking forward to the poison we have at the Park Cafe.
It's probably for me.
Bye, Mr. Wake.
The lime in the...
Mission accomplished. The key and the directions.
My hero. I got some flashlights, just in case.
Hey, wait! Mrs. Wake! Your keys!
That diner was a real nut house.
Can you believe this place? This would make a wonderful setting for a book.
We're supposed to be on vacation, Alice. I'll figure it out when we get back home. Okay?
Okay. We can talk about this later.
Batman here on KBFF.
I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to bury my head in sand.
Here's another one of my favorites to go with it.
Once upon a time, I was a successful writer, but that was a long time ago. I hadn't been able to write a word in 2 years. Not since my last book.
And now the weather. It's gonna be a clear night, so you folks in the big city might want to look up every once in a while. See those stars winking down at you? It gets pretty dark out here, but they'll light your way.
Oh, there's so much licensed music in this game, by the way. Like, I'm gonna get butchered on YouTube when I post this. Diver's Isle.
It's gorgeous, Alan.
It's something, all right. Don't worry, honey. I'll get you inside safe and sound before it gets dark. And I've got the flashlight.
I know. I'm okay.
Alice had a phobia. The fear of darkness. I wanted to make sure we were inside with the lights on before sunset.
Well, I could do that. Or I can just go the other way. You know, collectibles. He won't sprint. He's like, why the hell should I sprint? I knew there was going to be something up here.
The cabin obviously got its name from the shape of the island. It looked like a giant bird leg. Alice had mentioned that the lake was a caldera. There was a dormant volcano under it.
Oh. I think we got all the secret stuff we were going to get. Let's look at that. We got a collectible and we got some exposition. Which I can appreciate them tying in some like flavor to otherwise like collectible stuff. I had actually planned on playing this, so like just before they did the whole announcement of the remastered, like I was like, man, do I really want to hook up my 360 and run through the OSSC? Turns out I didn't have to. They remastered it for me. I'm gonna be like checking everything for loot. This is gonna be a forever long playthrough. I'm not even gonna pretend like it's gonna be short. Cause like, look, not everything's like a straight path. Like they developed this area with like thought and consideration.
An old generator had been connected to the power cable. Alice had told me about Cauldron Lake Lodge. The old building used to be a hotel, but these days it was no longer open to the public.
I know we're gonna get the power on, but I just want to explore. Alright. Looks good. Yeah, they very much went for like the Max Payne approach. Like these doors, you don't interact with them, you just run into them. Is this that Dead by Daylight? Whatever them kids are playing. I just passed the skill check.
I'll freshen up a bit and start settling in.
Okay, I'll look around a bit.
Sure thing. Have fun.
It was a beautiful place. I told myself I could rest here, sleep here, and forget about my work. I thought we could be happy here. The island had once been the site for a love story. Maybe it would be that again.
Yeah, I guess I didn't like check all the way out here. If I was gonna hide a collectible, probably would be here because there's all these trees kind of actually blocking stuff.
Alice? Honey? A shoebox filled with books by Thomas Zane sat on the shelf. I'd never heard of him before.
Alan, I'm upstairs. I have a surprise for you.
We'll head up there in a minute. But she's gonna have to wait for a little bit. We're exploring.
The Deerfest guests have already started to arrive. Just ran into one on the ferry. Famous artist, no less. We'll see if we can rope him into an interview later on. Now let's go to the phones. Caller, you're on KBF-FM.
Hi, Pat. It's Rose.
Why, hello, Rose. What's on your mind?
I know who that famous artist was. It was Alan Wake,
Ugh.
wasn't it? He's my favorite writer.
Well, Rose, I
just saw him at the...
I like that both Alan and I were both like, ugh.
Excited he's here.
I'm sure he's glad to be here, too. Well, folks, I guess the secret's out. This is Pat Maine on KBF-FM. And now, some music.
Great. So much for keeping a low profile.
There was always a part of me that wanted to go into being on the radio.
The water was black. I couldn't help but imagine all sorts of horrors lurking in the depths below.
I guess having a morning show would be like real chill or something.
Alan, come here, Slowpoke. I'm waiting.
Surprise!
Trap.
What is this?
I guess I have a small confession to make. I thought maybe you could write here that a change of scenery would get you past...
Damn it, Alice, everyone
Hey,
keeps...
hey, just hear me out. There's a local doctor, Dr. Hartman. I read a book of his. He has a private clinic here. He specializes in helping artists.
So now you want to get me committed?
No, it's not like that.
Thanks, Fib.
That's not...
It's good to see you, bud. I know we were just chatting earlier, but
Just don't! I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice! God damn it!
I knew she wouldn't follow me in the dark. I needed some time alone to think things through.
I don't know. On the one hand, I understand where she's coming from. She just wants to help. And she's doing what she thinks is best. On the other hand, I also get where he's coming from, too. He just came here to get his mind off all that stuff.
Alice?
Alice? Alice!
The cabin had gone dark. All the lights were out.
Alice, I'm coming! It's all right, I'm coming!
What the hell?
Alice? Alice? Oh no!
Keep going.
Wake up.
Alice?
Waking up in the crashed car felt like I had woken from one nightmare and entered another. I couldn't remember how I got there. All I knew was that something terrible had happened to Alice. The phone was dead. I'd have to find help on foot. Among Alice's things was a book, The Creator's Dilemma, by a Dr. Emil Hartman. Seeing the book brought back my fight with Alice. I didn't like it, and I didn't like the guy's smug face on the cover either.
Okay, so they didn't let me keep my gun or my flashlight from the tutorial.
The gas station was my best bet. They'd have a phone I could use. It looked like a long hike through the forest to get there.
It says Stuckey's.
Damn.
Oh shit. So you can kind of see where it's an open world games. They made this like really dense. Apparently they had developed a special tool to help them quickly plot out things. So like for example, near the roads in the game, they could just put a road down and the game engine would intelligently know not to put any sort of like grass or other foliage on the road. But it would like kind of dissipate a little bit and you would see just little sproutlings coming up through the cracks sometimes.
Hello? Is someone there?
The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I planned to use for the next novel I had never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
Oh.
Departure by Alan Wake.
So we're gonna go through these. I want this to be a really like kind of immersive playthrough.
The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. It was hard to make him out in the darkness of the forest that surrounded us, but the axe he lifted was plain to see. It glistened with the blood of his victim. He grinned madly. The shadows were alive, distorting his features. It was a scene from a nightmare. but I was awake.
So yeah, granted, I won't find all of them probably without a guide, but
Anybody there? Please, I've been in an accident.
I think I missed the scare. It should have waited until I was actually looking. Not just made it proximity based. Because I know I'm turned around, but I'm exploring. Don't encourage me to explore and then hide scares purely based on proximity. 'Cause I didn't see it. I have to be very conservative with how I use his bursts when like he goes sprinting because he tires out super quick.
The lights up ahead were a good sign. Maybe I wouldn't have to hike all the way down to the gas station to find a phone.
Feels weird. I haven't played this in a decade. So I'm sure we can get in like this, but that's a one-way trip. I'd like to explore this outside area. Because this is a perfect place to hide something. Yet either I can't find it or they didn't take advantage of it. Well, guess we'll proceed. I'll not just feel really compelled to explore. But yeah, you can see this was developed by Remedy Entertainment.
Please, I've been in an accident.
Microsoft helped out. I don't have it listed on the page. D3T helped do the remaster, and Epic Games Publishing actually did the publishing for it.
Hey! Hey, you! Phil! There's been an accident. I need help. Listen, I need to...
Premium cabins for rent in...
Oh shit, that's Mr. Stucky.
Carl Stucky. Pleased to meet you. Non-refundable reservation deposit required. Fair and square. Fair and square.
Well, he just killed the hell out of somebody.
The Taken stood before me. It was impossible to focus on it, as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. It was bleeding shadows like ink underwater, like a cloud of blood from a shark bite. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter.
So they do want me to take him out. But that's going to require me having a flashlight, which I don't.
It's the latest
Oh shit.
Two birds? Incontestably proven health!
That's not a reference to The Shining.
Any second now, and Stucky would be knocking on the door with his axe like Nicholson in The Shining.
Oh shit! They referenced it directly! Huh.
During your trying, it's the latest thing. Incontestably proven health let you kill with one stone.
Yes.
You can see the sights and
Bright
keep
Falls
those
Sheriff Station.
Shit.
This is bad. I wasn't about to open the door, as long as I was liable to catch an axe with my forehead.
He knocked the whole damn trailer over.
The bulldozer had gone over the cliff with the office. I hoped Stucky had suffered the same fate, but I wasn't planning on staying to find out. I'd never fired a gun outside a shooting range, and now I just killed someone. Or something. There were no bodies. They just disappeared. If I was dreaming, it felt real enough to make me sick. Eerie hand-painted graffiti was revealed by my flashlight. Someone had hidden a chest of supplies near it.
That's cool. Also, I like that your flashlight will recharge if you don't go like ham with it. Like if you just kind of like chip away at stuff, then you can really save on some battery life. Okay, alright, damn.
The dark forest was the last place I wanted to go, but I had no choice.
I
had
need
to
to see
get
some
the gas
hints.
station.
I didn't even notice those. Alright, well. Oh. I guess they don't consider this safe enough. Oh yeah, my health just regenerated. Yeah, this is kind of based on Max Payne with how you control, like, granted you can't do like bullet time shit, but the kind of like jump anywhere and like the environment doesn't have a lot of like set things for you to oh, shit. I don't have to. I do kind of have to. Didn't even notice this. Like, I don't really think it's difficult, but the enemy is like, there's no real indicator they're about to swing like behind you. Oh wow.
Rose knew she had been gushing, but right now she didn't care. As far as she was concerned, her brief meeting with Alan Wake was literally the high point of her life. She watched as he got in the car with his wife. She was pretty, confident, at ease with Wake. Not like Rose. They were perfect for each other. She'd have given anything to be called their friend.
So that gives us some information about Rose, the waitress. Did we not already learn that electricity is bad?
What the hell was that? When I saw the river below, something uncoiled itself inside my head. I realized that I'd have to find a way across. I didn't even want to look at the water.
As I'm sitting here, just eyeballing it. Yeah, you can see it, like the player doesn't ever like latch onto the environment. The environment is very static until something like scripted happens to make it not be, but the player like just really exists in this it's not like Uncharted where you feel like you're glued to everything all the time as you run around.
Barry Wheeler was bouncing off the walls. He jumped on a plane after his calls were ignored by both Al and Alice for several days. It could mean that they were both on a second honeymoon, but Barry didn't buy it. Al had been way too unstable for that, not sleeping, messed up. Barry had years of experience dealing with Alan Wake, and he couldn't ignore it. Something was wrong.
So that actually spoils a little bit. How wild we missed so many manuscript pages. Like, I don't know where they could have been hidden. I can hear him to my right.
Stucky was still out there, in the dark, stalking me.
Okay. That took me back a little bit, but it wasn't anything like drastic. I just had to remember to get that manuscript page, unless it keeps it, which we can find that out. Yeah, it keeps it.
What the hell was that? When I saw the
What in the hell?
Something uncoiled itself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if this was like, and I use Uncharted, I don't use it as a bad example at all. It's just an example of if I was to walk up a log, I would be very stuck on the log as I go up it. This is what I saw, actually. It made me fall. So I saw it flashing in the distance. But like here, you can tell I'm not glued to really any of this environment. I just exist here. And in some ways I can appreciate that because it helps give a sense of freedom. Let's actually try to walk across this log bridge and not fuck it up.
Stucky was still out there, in the dark, stalking me.
Damn it. I didn't really need to use a battery at that point. Yeah, I was mad. I pressed the dodge button. He was like, nah, I ain't dodging. No fucking way. But we got our groove in. I feel like there's going to be a bit of a learning curve of that. See, I would have been dick and hit a thermos behind that or something. Ooh. Up here. Wednesdays I'll actually turn my camera back on. May not be today. Because I kind of want to get my environment around.
Taken. They're taken.
Taken or filled with darkness. If I remember right, flare guns will kill most enemies in one shot. Since you're just hitting them with such a like big beam of light, you know. This would have been a good spot for a collectible. You can take fall damage, and I mean, granted, that would be a tough jump for me to make RL, but I mean, I could do it. I wonder if the reason they're kind of giving me so much stuff
was broken. I had to make my
is
way
because
out
they
some other
like.
way.
Does this game take away your inventory a lot? I guess feels like bait. Yep, we got more batteries. Oh, well that's. I mean, okay. What about them batteries? Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah. You can have a limit on both. They That means I'm probably being a little bit too conservative, or they just really put a lot in this area to help you get like a feel for it. I could see it going either way. Easy peasy. We are playing on the normal difficulty. What?
With all this forestry equipment around, there had to be something I could use to reach the top.
So just pressing R2, even when you're not aiming, will shoot. You'll skill check past LO.
I heard them before I saw them, swooping down from the sky and screeching as they came. I spun around just as the cloud was upon me. For an instant, I stared into 100 dead eyes, black pearls glittering in the darkness. I raised the flashlight and the swarm exploded like fireworks. Feathers burned, turned into ash. I couldn't hear my scream above theirs.
You know, my favorite thing about this versus when I play stuff like Silent Hill or Tormented Souls, I don't have to read any of this shit. I ain't read nothing. You know, now that like I'm kind of like playing it and get back into the hang of it, I do remember this game being more combat heavy than I was expecting when I initially played it. As I expected it to be very survival horror, and now that I'm kind of like getting my teeth back into it for the first time in a decade, I do remember this being considerably more combat heavy than it kind of sells itself to be. Because they started working on this immediately, well not immediately, they just took a little bit of a break. They started working on this right after they finished Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. But it took them like 5 years to develop this, which for a game back then was a pretty long development time. Primarily because they had to like scrap the open world idea after 3 years. Like it and some other elements just weren't working. And the game got like too large for what they wanted to do. A lot of that information, by the way, is on the Wikipedia. I will totally admit that I read it prior to starting. I do that pretty often, so I like to be able to talk about it. But, I mean, I like to read Wikipedia pages for games anyways. That's what I used to do to pass time at work, in between interactions. Pull up a random games wiki page and just start reading. All that work over some fucking stairs. Shotgun ammo? Yeah, boy.
Well, I was just outside for a breath of fresh air, and what a night. I know most of you are probably in your beds by now, but if you're still up and around, take a moment. Step outside for a spell and breathe in deep. The weather is absolutely still. The sky is crystal clear. It's like the forest is quietly breathing along with you. As you listeners know, I'm a night owl, and it's on nights like this I wish I wasn't cooped up in the studio. Makes an old man like me wish I could just roam wild. But here I am, and who'd keep you company all night long if I weren't? It looks like I'm not the only one staying up late. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Pat, it's Maurice Horton.
Hello, Maurice. What are you up to?
Well, I was just taking Toby on his walkies.
Oh, isn't it beautiful out there?
Sure, but Pat, the reason I called is that Toby heard something rustling in the undergrowth and took off after it, and I couldn't find it.
Probably a rabbit.
Sure. Toby loves rabbits.
Well, sure.
Anyway, I figured that, if anyone runs into Toby, they could grab him. My number's on his collar.
And Toby's a friendly dog?
Toby loves people. Usually he comes back, but we were pretty far from home, and it sounded like he went pretty wild there. Great dog, but he was just too dumb for his own good.
Well, Maurice, it's out there now. Hope Toby comes home soon.
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
You have a good night now.
I guess this leads back to that one, yeah. Oh, manuscript page. It's like they wanted me to find this one.
At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery. With it, I could save myself. With it, I could save Alice.
Feels incredibly meta, like he's living in his own book that he hasn't actually written yet.
The gas station was closer now, its light welcoming in the darkness.
Like he's literally just RPing.
Belly Burster is the best with no curves. Monster Dog is second best. The famous dog is...
I don't know if there was anything up there we needed. Here's some fuckery. Sticking to walls to help avoid getting flanked or ambushed. Oof. That's why we stuck to the wall, actually. Was to make sure that nothing too fucky would happen. It limits the directions they can come from. shit.
I stepped into the gas station's garage. It was dark and quiet. The place was a mess. It looked like someone trashed the place or that there'd been some kind of fight. Light spilled into the room through an open door at the back, and I made my way toward it. Without any warning, I was blinded by a bright light. An old portable TV on the shelf had come alive by itself. Impossibly, I could see myself on the screen, talking like a madman.
I always love Sam Lake's writing. He has a way of just making everything seem so fucking surreal. I got a twofer. Do they just keep coming though? Is the question. Well, this here is real fucking busy. Boy, that wasn't very fair. I couldn't do anything. Probably, oh, big fan of that, but I can patch up a lot of what we did there. I might need to actually use this flare gun a little bit. Okay, so that one is like intended to be found, even if you already got it once. Oh shit, there's a thermos there.
The gas station was closer now, its light welcoming in the darkness.
That makes me significantly less upset.
Belly Burster is the best with no horns. Monster Dog is second best. The famous dog is...
Safe haven, you say? Yes, I would generally agree with that. So having this up and running helps. So they will tell you when one spawns behind you. So they just stopped chasing you altogether. Interesting. I want to see how the light mechanic would work. That looks like a thing. Ah. I see. So I had already gotten to the exit and I just fucked that up. I ain't all that mad about it, to be honest. But it is good to know that there are areas like that where, like, those enemies were going to come after me pretty much indefinitely until I got through the area. So instead of focusing on killing them, it should become much more about survival. I don't like that that's not always an option, but that's what it is. I do like that there's some semblance of a mini-map, even if it's kind of useless. Whitey, what's good, man? Thank you so much for the sub. I hope you've been well. And I also fixed those browser sounds too, so you should have been able to hear that. I did at least do that from the last time I streamed. It feels good to nut again. I bet. Yeah, I know you've been through some stuff, but I do hope you're doing well. Shit, that's a lot of guys. This is where I get punished for my greed. Damn, they just wombo comboed the hell out of me. Yeah, I saw that. I'm optimistic about it. Like, of course it's gonna suck that they're gone. Like, of course. But I do think that the studio is in good hands. And yeah, they did announce the next like a dragon game, so like I'm not really all that upset about it. It sounds like the studio is plenty busy. And they've got a good idea on what they're wanting to do. No, I haven't even picked it up yet. Money was a little bit of a thing. Time has also been like probably the biggest thing. I might have to actually take these dudes out. I'll get flanked. Vim, are you still in here? Because, you know, I really haven't heard your thoughts on the Diablo 2. I guess this is more of like a remaster. I played Diablo 2, but I was one of those punky ass kids that all I did was play with like hacked characters on the local locally, so my nostalgia is from having insane druids with bears that just fuck shit up. Let's make sure there's anything I missed. Yeah, I mean, you probably already know most of the answer, but I've been playing so much Final Fantasy 14, and like I don't really feel comfortable streaming like our voice chats that we have. Like we do have voice chats on the Discord, and anybody's allowed in. I don't really feel comfortable like putting other people's voices out there on a stream. Like unless we've talked about it first and like they know beforehand that I'm streaming and stuff, so.
Science.
I'm glad to hear that it's pretty good.
On those who advance it to elevate all of mankind. Newton, Einstein, Sagan, princes among men. But the price for such a legacy is steep indeed. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, a quantum suicide. If our lives are already written, it would take a courageous man to change the script. Having called a press conference, Dr. Barclay Colvin is about to demonstrate that very courage.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I am Dr. Barclay Colvin, and I'm glad so many of you could join me here at the Moorcock Institute. Tonight, I'm going to give a practical demonstration of the many worlds interpretation. As you can see, this is a loaded 9mm pistol. It shall be part of a thought experiment. And now, a real experiment, known as a quantum suicide.
Did he say suicide? Is that a real gun? He's kidding, right?
Please, stay calm. There is no risk. Observe what occurs when I place the weapon against my own forehead. Now, you might think this round is merely a dud. Not so. Observe the flower pot. And yet, I myself cannot be harmed with this gun. With each pull of the trigger, two new realities branch off. One in which the weapon didn't fire, and one where it did. With my machine here, I have ensured that this reality is always the former. I have bestowed upon myself quantum immortality. Under no circumstances can this gun kill me.
So wait. What you're saying is that every time you pull the trigger, in another reality, you die?
Yes, of course, but that's completely trivial. There's an infinite number of things that could happen at any moment, and they always do happen somewhere. The point is, this one thing did not happen here.
You're insane, Colvin.
Insane? Insane?
Hey, was this thing supposed to be plugged in? I stumbled on it.
You fools! Gaze upon quantum immortality.
Ooh, shit.
Poor Dr. Colvin, felled by his own hubris or the ignorance of the masses. Perhaps he should have left the crate unopened, the decaying atom unobserved. Curiosity often kills the cat. In Night Springs.
I forgot how good those little episodes were. I think this ends up being the boss fight. Yeah, consider throwing ammo at you. Yeah, it's actually very much inspired by the Twilight Zone. That was even in the wiki for it. Got you, motherfucker. Bro, I've played way too much Metal Gear Solid to get tripped up by this.
Stucky's body vanished, leaving behind only a lifetime of nightmares to come. Assuming I'd reach the lights at the gas station alive.
MGS5 looks different. Yeah, this was originally developed in 2010. This game's already 11 years old, which is kind of wild. Now, there was a thermos that I was being baited with. Where the fuck was it? Thermos jam. Yeah, he thought he was hot shit. I had to get in one dodge and then I just laid into him. I do remember enjoying this game, and I still do enjoy it. So far I'm having a great time with it. Like, I don't think Remedy has ever put out a game that I've felt was bad. Though I will say I have never played Quantum Break. And that was just because it got locked down. Console exclusivity nonsense. Ah, there it is. I was getting baited with one of these. They really like for you to explore, so that's why you'll see me taking like the most roundabout way instead of just beelining it.
I recognized the parade float I had seen in Bright Falls when I first arrived with Alice.
Deerfest. Oh God. I was worried I may have gotten myself stuck back here, but nope. But yeah, I've been playing a shit ton of Final Fantasy 14 lately to get ready for the expansions coming out in a month. I will be streaming the
After the
expansion, but
insanity
I
I'd
probably
just
won't be on
experienced
voice
in the
chat unless
darkness,
I'm actually
the
playing
lights
with
of
the
the gas
person.
station felt comforting. At least for a moment, the sane world reasserted itself.
Oh, yeah.
The
First
cabin
couple
on
pages.
Cauldron Lake? She asked. The sheriff looked at me suspiciously. The early morning light flooded through the office windows. I would probably never have gotten out of the woods alive without her help, but I couldn't tell her the truth of what I'd faced the previous night. She'd think I was lying or crazy. She'd lock me up, and she wouldn't help me find Alice. Stucky spat on the garage floor and tried to shake the cobwebs from his head. Ever since the couple never showed to pick up the keys, things had been fuzzy. Something, a feeling caught his attention. Stucky looked up and stared as his brain tried in vain to process the horror before him. He stumbled back, knocking over a can of oil. A black pool spread across the floor while he struggled for a brief moment, then let go as the unrelenting darkness engulfed him.
I really like the script pages as a thing. Sadly, I don't have a lot of time to play. I guess I do have some news that I waited an hour and a half to talk about.
If the day count on the banner was right, I was missing a whole week between the night we got here and now.
I do see this thermos. But yeah, some news. My schedule is kind of more
I
set
had to
now.
get inside the gas station to find a phone to call for help.
I
The
no
garage was a
longer
mess. It looked like someone had trashed the
do
place,
training
or that
at
there'd
the
been
place
some
where I'm
kind of
at.
fight.
I just do the normal work without going too much into what I do and stuff. So
I'll keep writing. Outside, there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her. I'll fix it. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost.
I don't believe this. It'd been me on the TV, talking crazy. Was I losing my mind?
yeah, my schedule now, I work Sundays through Thursdays. And then Friday nights I am not home. I usually use that as a day with a lady friend. So that explains some of some of my absence. But I do have a set schedule now, so once we get out of this crazy period,
Sheriff Station.
I should actually be able to set up a proper stream schedule.
Oh, thank God, Sheriff.
Sheriff Sarah Breaker, you are...
I'm Alan Wake, but listen, I was in a car crash. My wife, Alice, she's missing.
Calm down, Mr. Wake.
We were staying in a cabin on the island, on Cauldron Lake.
There's no island on Cauldron Lake, not since the big eruption in the 70s.
Please, I can take you there, okay?
You look like you've taken a pretty bad knock to the head. Are you okay?
Listen.
We'll figure this out. Please get in the car. We'll swing by the lake and then we'll go to the station, okay? Mr. Wake, have you seen Stucky, the guy who owns this place?
I realized I couldn't tell her what had happened in the forest. She wouldn't have believed me, and then she wouldn't have helped me with Alice.
candy-colored clown they call the Sandman tiptoes to my room every night, and just to sprinkle stardust and to whisper, go to sleep, everything is all right. I close my eyes.
Do we just get like a whole thing? Like if they're letting us skip it, it's probably just the music. I'm not trying to get YouTube Coon to get mad at me for skipping this.
Previously on Alan Wake. I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at, but the cabin had disappeared.
I enjoyed that it ended on that cliffhanger of the cabin's not there.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Hey, handsome. This is gonna be a long night, but these shots are turning out great.
I guess you're gonna need that coffee then. I'll go put it on.
Oh shit. So he's working on a set of Alan Casey novels.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss.
That's absolutely Max Payne's voice.
This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now. My wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Yo, that's wild. So there is totally a QR code there, and it goes to another YouTube page. This is Vision 02, which I will share with y'all if you give me just a moment. So that way you can have the link. Ignore any echo you hear. This is Vision 02, which... there. That's what that QR code turns into. So that way you don't have to do it. Seems like there's one of those per episode.
The continuing freezing rain and heavy snowfall have necessitated a winter storm warning in the entire tri-state area. People are advised to stay indoors as many roadways are already closed, and city officials are not expecting snow crews to keep up with the weather. We're now on the third day of the blizzard, and the weather is not expected to clear up anytime soon.
You would think a lot of these doors you wouldn't be able to go into, but yeah.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
We'll go to her in a minute. Still investigating. CCTV. So this TV's not hooked up yet, but damn. It feels antiquated by today's standards. So big.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Yikes.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan! Alan! Please check the fuse box!
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay. Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
Oof. Mocaps come a ways too. Which apparently they redid some of these scenes, but the trade-off for that is that they're all in 30 frames, which, I mean, it's fine. It's not like this is like a high-octane game.
Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your word for it, Doc.
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
Knack for winning contests. This one was a contest winner.
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now. Very good. I'll come back later on to remind you, just in case. Mr. Wake, the sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the corridor. That was Cynthia Weaver. I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on, other things these days.
She'd fit right in where I come from.
As you can see, she's a little obsessed with maintaining the light bulbs of the whole town, refuses to step on shadows, things like that. Back in her day, she wrote about all sorts of weird things in the paper. Bright Falls has a colorful history. Of course, what small town hasn't?
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the parade float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Yeah, we kind of killed the shit out of that guy.
The sheriff wants to see you in her office, Mr. Wake.
Alice was missing. I needed help to find her. I wasn't ready to leave.
They sure won't let you up, but you can see, like, they put some work into that outside environment to not make it completely, like, dull. Alright. We'll do what we're supposed to.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with
Don't
anything?
do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he'd quit drinking for good.
Oh, no such luck. He went on a bender and beat Danny pretty badly. He started shouting like that the moment he woke up.
More light in here. God
You can get to the back lot through that door and down the corridor, Mr. Wake.
Hey, can you turn the light? The light's on. The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I needed to. Thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, you're all right. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See? Sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen. Listen, you gotta listen carefully now. Here's the kicker.
Hey, thank you for the host. I hope you're doing well. It's been a bit.
It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounds like something a drunk would say, but believe me.
Good.
I wasn't drunk then.
Yeah, guy's drunk off his ass.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the Dark Presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power. The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, "Go through the fence on the left."
Oh. Let's see. I knew there'd be some sort of collectible out here. At this and a radio.
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the Sheriff's Department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deerfest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting that the big day's almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
That was difficult to hear. Yeah, everything's at full volume.
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
And I will. In a minute. Damn.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall on the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife? Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Barry?
Ow! Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. Oh, I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow! What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
That dude's passed the fuck out.
A light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
I'll probably play for about another hour.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing. They are not
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Damn!
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was
All he
enough
cares
to
about is a
have me
damn
smell money.
manuscript.
And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him!
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you.
Bucktooth Charlie.
Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car? Just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice.
Do you
and everything's
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Kind of an interesting conversation system. It picks up when I'm near the person talking. If I get too far away from them, it'll stop it and then resume it when I get close again.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure.
Seriously, Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
Oh, shit.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No, this whole thing, listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy...
I said that because my dog was about to pull off my keyboard from my little table. He just loves getting wrapped up in those cables and just pulling what he can with them.
Real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
I tell you, if I had an agent like Barry, I would fire that dude forever ago. He got my damn nerves.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too. If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio mast.
Oh.
It's right below that.
That doesn't look like an easy walk.
If you take a walk in the woods, watch your steps so you don't end up like Max. I guess I'm a little worried. We got a bunch of campers out there we haven't heard from. It's not like these people are on a schedule, but with the traps, well, you know. I just don't want any trouble.
Right, thanks.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves, and eating a healthy diet of pills. Al, you make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al, come on! I mean, okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
Well, thanks for the heartfelt vote of confidence.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would you think if it was me? There's no way you should be going out at midnight with a gun.
No one asked you to come.
See, I was worried to cut that conversation off. Why do they have such a long conversation? Yet it's so fast to cut it off.
Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her! This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be Deliverance all over again.
Hey, Mose. Yeah, tell me all about it. Yeah, so they did take away my stuff. That makes the limited inventory make a lot more sense. Because I'm not going to be keeping it for the most part anyways. Damn, that was with the lights! Whew. I always thought these were really cool. The little, like, log bench things.
I'll wait here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al. Locking the door now.
Well, yeah, he really came down and locked that door behind him.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry. Barry had the keys to the car he rented. Wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest. I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Oh, I do have a gun. But I don't have all that ammo that I had. Alright, we'll come back to this area in a minute.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage. No plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about it. No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Pat. But I'm going to check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously, you're in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
But you're not taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not that competitive anymore. Now I just like to take my time and enjoy the peace of it. It's no fun if I need to worry about what I'm catching, you know?
Well, considering your track record, the participants are probably pretty happy you feel that way.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
Hey, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, bud. Why would they give me an area? This is begging to be explored. Huh. Oh, there we go.
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. The white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark. Believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will. Don't worry. Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
That was weird. That was incredibly weird. Well, alright.
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. "Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page."
So other people can see the manuscripts if they're involved in all this mess. It's not good for him.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was.
Oof. I don't know what the little symbol by some of them means.
Vision left me weak. This was no head injury.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming!
Please, help me! Anybody? Help me!
I will, but only after I explore first. Surely you understand, Rusty.
The visitor center was sturdy, but the impact turned the front of the building into splinters. Rusty was thrown across the lobby like a rag doll and hit the far wall hard. It didn't hurt until he tried to move and saw his leg bend the wrong way, felt the broken ribs stabbing him on the inside. Rusty howled in pain and fear, suddenly afraid to die alone.
Yeah, you got fucked up.
The ranger's office was locked. I'd need a key to get in.
Doesn't look like there's anything over here. I like that this light will kind of go all the way in a direction. Makes it kind of handy for checking things at a distance. See if you get some sort of interactivity with it when you shine your light over it.
Hello?
Back here. I'm back here. Hey, please help me.
Mr. Wake?
Oh, hell.
It happened just the way it was on that page. I found came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights in the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened. Shh. Good boy.
Can't give the man a lick of first aid, can we? Hey, you can see the like body shape impact where he got hit there. And then he like I guess dragged himself over there.
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on. At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe.
Don't mind if I do here, boss.
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Rusty!
The ground was covered with stormy patches that looked like liquid darkness. Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Please don't feed the animals. Fishing is only permitted for those prisoners who purchase a part
I was wondering where he was.
Obey!
Rusty, no!
Two bears and wolves never approached any other closer than 25 yards. Pets must be leashed. Never leave your pet unattended. It is against the law to remove any natural objects or historical artifacts from the park. This includes even you may find along the river, or even simple berries.
Yikes. So I'm gonna guess then that Stucky was already dead. Because once Rusty died, as far as we can tell, Rusty's dead. He became a Taken.
What the hell was that? I saw from the window. I saw something.
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it. In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
Dead as hell. It seems like there's a whole area over here. Oh no, I lied. I thought there was. 'Cause it would be pretty fucking mean to hide something back there. Okay, so you can't proceed here. I don't know why I like the map. It just confuses me.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
Ooh, shit and hellfire. Don't mind if I do. This is also a really big side area, like, to just hide that one thing. I figured there would be a manuscript page here, too. Interesting. Combat isn't too bad, but like they can absolutely like wombo combo your ass if you're not careful. So like when you dispatch them, you gotta do so really efficiently. I feel like eventually I'm going to start using the batteries. I just haven't really had a need to.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated, but she really tried to help. She was smart too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
We're about to get attacked. Is that why this area is so fucking big? We did okay in that encounter except for some wasted ammo. This is definitely given the like constant encounter music that's playing, and dodge multiple hits. This really seems like an area where you kind of have to like beeline it through. Ooh. I don't know if beeline it's gonna work. Actually, save on a bit of ammo here. That kills him immediately. Oh, fuck. It sucks that you have to like pay attention where you're dodging too, because if you don't, you'll dodge into a rock. And just eat the shit out of that damage. That's a kind of intense little area.
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason. Packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo. Things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
Yeah, I bet you if I would just hit the touchpad button, it would go straight back into the game. Oh, nobody's making any calls on that. I got to fight a dark bear. Okay, I'm curious. Ah. Suck it. I said, no, you suck. Yeah, that big guy just, it made total sense to hit him with that. Boy, this goes pretty deep for being just a side area, man. No other cool hidden things? Doesn't appear to be. So that brings me back to this. To hit a checkpoint. Oh. I see.
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch, at any cost.
The touchpad just brings us right back in. We are going to be calling it here in the next few minutes. Just because you boys got work in the morning.
Shit.
We gotta get moving. More of them coming. That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
Interesting twist.
You can see them too?
Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move.
Why?
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
I lost my gun back there.
Oh, I've got a gun.
Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake! You better keep up. Stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun!
No time for back talk. Pull them off, damn it.
It's kind of a weird section.
Stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them
Let me
off
get
while I
these
boards
now.
off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun!
No time for back talk. Hold them off, damn it. Just a little longer. Scare them off. Get some light on those bastards. That'll keep them off us. Just a little longer. I almost got it. Okay, it's okay. Move it or lose it. Oh, you feeling better now, Wake? All cozy and safe. Better get ready. They'll be on us soon. This is it, Wake. Last stand. There's more flares here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming.
Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming!
That's not how this goes. Get with them
It was kind of nice not having to worry too much about ammo.
Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were gonna say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're gonna bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her mouth.
We're gonna call it after this cutscene.
You're gonna give me the manuscript, or you'll be sorry.
No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here!
He had Alice, and he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power, but I had no manuscript to give him. On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light, but something more tangible than that. It was something you could touch and feel. Worse than that, it was something with a mind of its own, something malicious and malign. For her, things changed when they were wrapped in darkness. They turned into something else, something foreign, and nothing was safe or innocent anymore. I'd never really understood what she meant, until now.
All right. So with that, we're going to quit the menu. I'm not going to be able to, like, do the, like the thing where I just go right back into it. But we'll pick up wherever the continue game lets us go in at. But y'all, I gotta get to bed. Feels good to stream again. And I'm happy that so many people came out to say hi. Check this game out with me. We'll be picking it back up here probably late tomorrow night. But yeah, until then, y'all be safe, be kind, and I'll catch you around later.